Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Manarino. It is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. Before I even get started, I'm going to ask you to share this video as far and wide as you possibly can, because I'm going to let you in on probably the biggest secret that you can possibly imagine. Seriously. Before I get there, let's talk about these markets here. This is my post-market wrap-up. Stocks finished in the red across the board after being up triple digits with regard to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This Brexit thing is starting to weigh on the markets. Believe me, it's not going to last. Markets will be propped back up. You understand what's going on here. It's a charade on a grand scale. All right, now cryptocurrencies finished slightly in the negative. Silver finished slightly in the negative. Gold put on a fractional gain. Bond market, I don't even talk about it. It's a non-event. Although, again, it makes me want to laugh, I guess. You got the mainstream financial channels talking about the yield curve as if it's real. They all understand that the Fed is in here rigging the debt market just like they did in 2008. In some ways, even worse. This bank recapitalization scam, this repo scam, which is getting bigger. The Fed is buying assets across the board. I mean, for these channels, for these reporting, whatever the hell they are, they're jokes. The debt market cannot be, there's nothing to take away from it other than it is rigged. Now, here we go, people. Let me just say this real quick. I am not endorsing any one candidate here, but sometimes you got to give credit where credit's due. Now, don't overreact, all of you who are hyper polarized, because that's what you're supposed to do, okay? Just sit down and take a deep breath here. Elizabeth Warren is starting to ask questions about why is the Fed doing what it's doing. She is the first presidential hopeful on the Democratic side to even address the issue, and still radio silence from the President of the United States, who has been beating up the Fed, good cop, bad cop, for how long now? Exactly. You're not supposed to know that. But again, look, stop. Don't follow along like a sheep here. If you are polarized, if you're feeling heat when you hear the name Elizabeth Warren, or heat when you're hearing the name Donald Trump, they got to you. You're being programmed deliberately. The two-party system is a sitcom. It's a one-party system. Period. The end. And they do not have your interests at hand. There's just no doubt about it. But the two-party system, hence only two, keeps you divided and off balance. Break out of it. Go straight up the middle and understand the lies, the propaganda, and the fakery. Now, here's the biggest secret you are ever going to hear, ever, I think, with regard to this entire financial charade. Now, we all understand that there is, and I've made fun of these people multiple times, rightly so, that there's a faction of people out here that say President Trump must be reelected because he's going to take down the Fed in his next term. Well, let me explain this to you real quick. The power does not lie in any one party or person. I've outlined this to the point of nauseum, but there are still those that are going to believe it. Let me explain this to you even more clearly. The power lies in we, the people. Here's the secret. Let's talk about J.P. Morgan Chase, the largest bank on the planet by assets. We the people, you and me, if there were a way to organize enough people to do it, we could take down the entire financial system in less than 1 hour. You heard right. We don't have to wait for President Trump's miraculous deal when he gets reelected to take down the Fed. We could take down the Fed ourselves right here and right now. If there were a real run on JP Morgan Chase, a bank run on JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank on this planet by assets, we the people could take out that entire bank in less than 1 hour. This would start a domino effect. But you see what they would do? You have to understand, once people would start going to the bank and actually run on it, you would be denied access to your own capital. They would shut the doors, shut off your ATM cards, however you access your cash. They would arrest you. They would call out the United States military, the National Guard, the police. Because you have to understand, once you deposit your cash into one of these institutions, it's no longer yours. The illusion is, again, when you go on your computer and you look up your bank account and say, hey, look how many nice zeros I have beyond it. No, it's not there. The banks, all of them are insolvent. They operate off of a fractional reserve system. And the biggest secret of them all is it's a Ponzi scheme. The entire financial system is a Ponzi scheme. All we need to do, sincerely, is take down one bank. You want to start with one? JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank on the planet by assets. If there were a group of people out here who could organize something like this and figure out a way to do it, we the people could win in less than 1 hour. That's the big secret. You're not supposed to know that. Again, it's very simple. The entire financial system is a Ponzi scheme. It's cash being moved from one place to another, like the repo scam the Fed is involved in right now. The banks themselves are involved in a repo scam. They're moving cash around to give the illusion, it's an illusion, that there's liquidity here in this market. Liquidity is drying up. There's no doubt about it. What does that mean when it dries up? Completely? Credit freeze. And then you're going to see some bank runs in a big way. And again, you'll be arrested. You will not be allowed access to anything that you think you have, because you don't have a damn thing. If it's not in your hand, I don't care what it is, you don't have it. Period. The end. It's a very simple concept to understand. So now that we know, I mean, the secret is out. The entire financial system is a Ponzi scheme. And all of these institutions are insolvent. They are insolvent. We, the people, could win in 1 hour, less than 1 hour, if we just altogether made a run on one of the banks that run the Federal Reserve, JP Morgan Chase being one of them. That's how we do it. We don't need to wait for a president or a party, which will never do this. The power lies in we the people. But again, the people have been dumbed down. This is the way that the ruling class has dominated the masses since time immemorial. You're not allowed to know things like I just explained to you. No, you're not allowed to know, but that is the truth. It's a 100% fact. We could win in less than an hour. It will never happen. Never happen in this environment. Again, you would be treated like public enemy number one and a terrorist. If you were to try to gain access to your own assets, to your own capital. You know why? Because it's not yours once it gets into one of these institutions. Look, they might take down this video. So get it out as far and wide as you can. Start thinking about these things. Really? You want to wait for Donald Trump's re-election because you think he's going to take down the Fed, one guy? Yeah. Maybe you should have a look at the Zapruder film a couple of times. It never happened. Never happened ever. Never, ever, never. And we are never, ever, ever going back to a gold standard, because this is how central banks get their power, by their ability to issue debt. You want to win? You really want to win? You think you're smart enough? Organize a bank run, a global bank run on JP Morgan Chase, less than 1 hour. 1 hour. The people will have the power. I think it's an impossibility, being that they will call in the National Guard to prevent you from having access to what you think is yours. People, share this video. Get it out there as far and wide as you possibly can. Make copies of it. If they try to take this down, and they try to do this to me all the time, repost it. Love you all. See you in the morning.